Hello, Mrs. Sharpless's agriculture students down at Bach Academy. My name is Tavis Douglas, and I am the Associate Professor of Agribusiness at the College of Central Florida in Ocala, just a little bit north of you. Your teacher today asked me to discuss what is my favorite subject in agriculture, which is the horticulture industry. The horticulture industry worldwide is extremely important, and it is extremely old as well. The horticulture industry dates to around 10,000 years ago, the beginnings of it, in what is now the Middle East area, but it might even be a little bit earlier than that, as some recent evidence shows of a little bit earlier horticultural production in places such as Papua New Guinea, where indigenous populations were actually growing and cultivating tropical plants, which is interesting. But today we want to discuss Florida horticulture, and specifically horticulture, by definition, is the agriculture of, or the study of agriculture of plants, mainly for food production, as well as materials such as fiber. Also includes energy crops, um, growing plants for comfort and beauty, such as landscaping, and plants that you would buy at a garden center, as well as for environmental purposes to reclaim damaged lands and to help the soil and land to recuperate, as well as medicinal uses. There are many medicines that are produced in the medical industry that are actually derived from plants, which is interesting. The horticulture industry is personally, I break it down into three distinct or very large areas. One being ornamental horticulture or environmental horticulture. So the production of plants for aesthetics, for looks, and for landscapes, also includes turf grass and things like that. Um, Another major segment of horticulture is olericulture, which is the study of, or the practice of, the production, as well as marketing and sales and everything revolving around vegetable production, which we have a lot of here in Florida. Also, pomology. Pomology is the study of fruit production, marketing, and sales, and everything having to do with fruits. There are also other subsections of horticulture, such as floriculture, so the production and study of flowering crops for flower arrangements and things like that. Arboriculture, so the study and management of trees. Viticulture, which is related to grape production, as well as things such as post-harvest physiology. So folks who just study and um, post-harvest quality, so after you harvest, your crop, how shelf stable it is, and looking at quality factors such as that. Discussing Florida in particular, Florida accounts for, we'll discuss citrus because we know you're in citrus country down there where you're at. Florida accounts for 45% of total U.S. Production of citrus in the United States. Of course, as you know, other states would also include California, Arizona, and Texas as well with some production. Florida ranks second in the value of vegetable production. So we grow a lot of vegetables in the state in Central and South Florida, as well as up by me and north of me in North Florida. Many different types of vegetable crops, mainly winter production crops, as well as early spring production. Florida is unique in the sense of growing horticultural crops because we are such a very large state that have many different climates. So what they're growing in Homestead, Florida, might be vastly different than what we're growing in the Panhandle of Florida, but they're all related as horticultural crops, just for different uses. Florida ranks first or second, depending on the year, in greenhouse and nursery products. So crops that we're growing in greenhouses. This also includes a lot of ornamental indoor plants as well, tropicals, and any nursery production, which generates around $1.6 billion annually to our state economy, which is impressive. Horticulture also includes many different types of things that you might not even think about. For example, just the county next to me to the east is known as the fern capital of the world, where, believe it or not, growing ferns, also referred to as a fernery, um, is a profitable business over there where they're growing ferns in large shade structures. And what do they do with the fern? They actually harvest it, and it goes to florists, really. So they ship ferns all over the world, all the way, from Volusia County, which is where Daytona Beach is, in that same county, or Daytona, shipping ferns all the way to the Netherlands, where they have a large flower production industry over there too. So it's a lot of amazing stuff, a lot of neat things. Sugarcane as well is a big industry, also included, for different purposes, whether it be energy or sugar production. So a lot of different crops. So there's 300. They say there's 300 different commodities that we produce here, in agricultural commodities that we produce here in Florida, and the majority of those are going to be horticultural crops. Everything that I'm discussing and more. I researched a few different careers in the horticulture industry or related. One I've kind of mentioned before, arborists. So being involved in arboriculture, which refers to the care and management of trees. So arborists do this. Greenhouse management, so a lot of farm production management, whether it be greenhouse management or nursery management for nursery plants. Fruit and vegetable production, being a producer there, or citrus, that's referred to as grove management, obviously. Marketing and sales. Marketing and sales plays a very large role. We cannot move our horticultural product without folks who know how to market and sell to large companies like Publix, which is obviously based in your county, as well as other large buyers such as Costco, in import and export markets as well. So there's a lot of importers and exporters. The state of Florida, we actually a lot of our product that is exported moves through places such as the port of Miami, where we import a lot of tropical products, and we export them as well on very large ships. Plant pathology, so the study of plant diseases, right? So that's a very large industry. As we know, we have a lot of problems with pests and diseases in Florida, as you guys are well aware of citrus screening that affects the citrus industry here in Florida. Plant pathology plays a role in that, in the study and the development to treat diseases such as that. We also have landscaping, landscape designing, landscape architecture, which refers to obviously, designing and installing landscapes, constructing landscapes, as well as landscape maintenance. We have a lot of golf courses in Florida. So golf course and sports turf management is its own area of study, which refers to, you watch TV, you watch football, you watch baseball, you may watch soccer or football in other countries. Those fields are immaculate, and it takes a lot of effort to do that. So there are careers associated with turf grass management as well as golf course management as well. There's other allied industries involved. So not the direct involvement with horticulture production per se, but things such as irrigation, design, installation, irrigation sales, soil science. So I failed to mention earlier, and I meant to, soil science plays a huge role in everything that we produce. Everything, whether you're into plants or animals, everything comes from the soil. So soil health is important, being able to maintain that soil health. So soil sciences obviously plays a huge role in this as far as the production of horticultural goods. Food science. So there are folks who study the nutrition of certain fruits and vegetables, how to maintain the nutrients from the farm to the terminal market or to your grocery store, into restaurants. So we have food scientists who work for places such as Publix, and then all the way up to 5-star Michelin restaurants in Florida and worldwide. Food science is an amazing area of study, and a lot of horticultural focus there as well. We also have fertilizer and chemical research, as well as sales. So we need folks who can market and help develop different fertilizers and chemicals to be used in the horticultural industry. We also have careers in government agencies, such as the USDA, or closer to home, FDACS, the Florida Department of Ag and Consumer Services, especially in referring to horticulture, the Division of Plant Industry, which they have a lot of responsibilities, one of which is inspecting nurseries, nursery stock, and making sure that we're not moving disease into or out of Florida, in many other different areas there. And of course, ag communications, kind of what we're doing today. So writing for different magazines and publications and websites, as well as Zoom sessions and recordings on educating the public on what we do, the good things that we do, what we produce, which all kind of goes back to marketing as well, and really getting the good word out on horticulture or agriculture, for lack of a better word. Specifically, what I do. So yes, I teach agribusiness. But my background is I do that, but I also farm. So quickly, my background, my first start in agriculture was actually growing ornamental trees. So I grew up on a tree farm. We were growing ornamental trees for landscapes. We were growing things such as oaks, magnolias, hollies, many different varieties of trees, from really small to 20-foot tall trees that would go to landscapes throughout Florida, as well as the rest of the United States in some cases. Also, after college, I was working at we did a few different things. We had a native plant nursery, so we were growing native plants to sell to garden centers, as well as for reclamation purposes. So working with companies, again, in your area, such as Mosaic, and doing what is known as mitigation. So we were growing and selling native plants to kind of, for environmental purposes, to kind of reclaim some of the lost ground due to mining. Uh, Mainly what I did though was I ran a blueberry nursery. So we were actually propagating tiny blueberry plants. I don't know if you guys have a greenhouse at your school, but I could definitely make some other videos to show you how to do this in the spring. Propagating blueberry plants, different varieties of blueberries, to sell to farmers from Lake Wales. I had customers in your town, to as far away as Israel. I even have blueberry plants that I grew in our greenhouses in Alaska, believe it or not. I don't know how they grow there, but I guess they're indoors. But um, anyway, so I was also running some blueberry farms, blueberry production farms, like I'm sure you've seen because you have quite a bit of that in your area as well as fruit packing facilities. You can read my hat, Wish Farms here, which is based out of Plant City, which is a great company. So I would definitely recommend their strawberries and blueberries as well, and blackberries. My farm that I actually live on, we live on a family farm here, and we grow blueberries. I grow blackberries here as well for fresh market, as well as peaches. So I have a peach orchard. We do some cut flower production, mainly sunflowers and zinnias, and we do a little bit of vegetable production as well here. Here at I didn't explain what's behind me, but at CF, this is what's known as our vintage farm campus. So we have our own farm campus here. It's a 103-acre farm with many different things, specifically related to horticulture. It's not in this photo. This is my classroom and office building. So yes, I actually work. My office is actually in a barn, a literal barn, which is behind me. But at CF, we're doing some hydroponic vegetable production in our greenhouses. So growing plants with just pretty much water and nutrients and no soil, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat. I'll have to give you guys a tour at sometime outdoors, but we also have on our property what I like to call Willy Wonka's garden, because we have many different crops growing there. Relatively small amounts of things such as, and I've got a list here, so hold on: pears, olives, chestnuts, pomegranates, apples, grapes, citrus, peaches, plums, nectarines, blueberries, figs, avocados, mulberries, persimmons, probably some other things blackberries I missed. And we do a lot of different vegetable production outdoors as well, such as fall crops, as well as spring crops, mainly for educational purposes as well. But we do produce a lot of crops, and we study some post-harvest handling of them as far as refrigeration and things like that. So right now, I just happen to be out at our farm earlier, so I'm harvesting right now things like turnips here. What else do we have we're harvesting? Um, Collard greens. It's one leaf there. It's kind of hard to see with this background. Collard greens, and actually the namesake of your school actually has nothing to do with it. But right now I'm also harvesting, I don't know if you can see it, bok choy, spelled the same way, B-O-K and C-H-O-I. Bok choy, which is an Asian crop. many different things, that we're growing. A lot of different things, and to me, it's a fascinating industry, and the careers and the opportunities and the importance of our industry. We're growing healthy, nutritious products for consumers, all your fruit and vegetable crops. But not only that, the some of the things in our industry that we do to mitigate things like climate change or to build soil health. Another fancy term I'm going to use, carbon sequestration. So plants have the ability to bind and hold carbon in themselves as well as in the soil. So plant production is important for that. As you guys are probably well aware, plants emit a lot of oxygen, so they're oxygen producers. So we have a unique industry where we're able to produce food for the consumers, create energy, create fiber, create feed for your livestock animals, as well as as well as help protect the environment, all at the same time. And there's many researchers and many folks out there that are doing research on this and implementing things and trialing things. Also, using technology and things like that. I don't have one yet. I don't have it with me, but right now we're going to start using drone technology with infrared cameras on them, so we can actually gauge plant health, whether it's a horse paddock behind me or a cow pasture, or in some of our horticultural crops, utilizing technology, which is huge, for our industry, as well as some other GPS related stuff, variable rate technology, applying fertilizer at different rates depending on crop needs, to help also mitigate over application of fertilizers, which can contaminate waterways such as lakes and rivers and such. So anyway, I think that's about it. I've gone way over my time here, so I have to apologize, but I'm very passionate about this particular part of agriculture, and I could probably talk all day. Actually, I do talk all day about it, just like this, recorded. But anyway, I appreciate the opportunity by Mrs. Sharpless giving me the. I'm glad to be able to speak to students like you down at Lake Wales, and hopefully I can make some more videos and some post some other cool things that we're doing, maybe make them a little bit shorter for you. So you guys have a good winter break, and hopefully I will see you soon.